Chicago kind of has a chip on its shoulder and they feel like they do things better than other people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, Chicago does do things better than most people in this country. Yeah, I mean, we do.
This is Sound in My City with Rémy Martin. I'm here with a legend from the local scene. They call him Disco, and he's from Chicago. I don't know how we're gonna end this, but I know how we're gonna start with Ric Wilson. How you doing today, Rick?
What's going on, man? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fly.
Yeah, I mean, you look the part, I will say. So the way we're gonna start right now is we're gonna try some of this Rémy Martin V.S.O.P. We're gonna get a taste of it, really get acclimated with the flavors, and then from there, we're gonna put it in a cocktail. How's that sound?
That sounds good. Let's do it.
Got the L train going in the background too.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
That's the sound of the city, honestly.
Yeah, literally.
I just want to raise a glass to you, toast to all the success that you're having in your career. Cheers, Rick.
Cheers. Let's see what it's saying.
For me personally, I get a lot of brown sugar, some fruit notes. I mean, it's very elegant, really smooth.
I mean, it tastes like spring, but like that first real spring. I don't know if you know where you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah, so in Chicago it'd be cold.
Yeah.
As hell. And then when you get that first whiff of like spring, wind, and air, this is the vibe that this has. Yeah.
So the reason why we wanted to start kind of with the base drink is because you get an idea of what it is, and I honestly want to get an idea of what your musical style is. Where are you really drawing inspiration from? Is it something that happens in the city, or is it a little bit closer to home for you?
When I'm making music, I just always think about, hey, what gathering will this song be played at? For a spot like this, I want to make something that feels like an afters or the beginning to the end of a night. I don't know if you've ever been in somewhere where like, it's like people dancing a lot of loud music and the walls start sweating and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes I want to make some that sounds like that, so.
I think we're gonna move on to the cocktail. I'm gonna lay down a couple of coasters. We're gonna get our drink over here. It's called the Rick's Dancing Juice. I feel like it makes sense because you're making some great dance music and it's creating the sound of the city. So let's see what we got here.
There you go.
Thank you.
Should we try it?
We absolutely should try
Let's
it.
do it. It looks delicious.
Cheers. So one of the elements that we put into this cocktail, Rick, is gonna be elderflower. Because I know that you have an interesting story.
We were on tour in France and, you know, we had a bottle of Rémy that they gave us backstage as one of the first times I kind of was drinking Rémy in this hotel. Kind of like in the middle of like nowhere also.
Yeah.
And then it was spring. So when we woke up the next day, it was literally just yellow flower, but it was everywhere. You know what I mean? It was everywhere. So now I associate Rémy with that experience. But no, this is great. I love it.
Can you talk a little bit about what it's like performing out there and the fans in those cities versus the fans in Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing I can get away with missing some words because English ain't the first language in France, so I've been getting away with a lot of shit. And most of the little Chicago lingo they don't know anywhere, so I've been getting away with that. One thing that Chicago has that they also have in those cities in Europe is that people actually dance here. You know what I mean? People actually be dancing when they go out for real, and I think it's kind of like whatever Chicago's club and warehouse culture was in the 80s or early 90s is what the vibe is when I'm playing in London. You know what I mean? Like, you'll finish a show at 11 and then they're like, all right, cool, where we going after this? I was like, not home? Okay. Where we going there? Okay.
Now I want to move on and talk a little bit about the sparkling wine. You kind of just have this uplifting, bubbly vibe and spirit to you. So I'm curious, when did you kind of figure out that positivity was your superpower?
People in Chicago used to say stay dangerous.
Yeah.
But they would say it smiling, you know? And I just always thought about like how like, oh, there you go again. Early 2010s, people had this notion of being scared of the city that I was from because of these people that I grew up with, and I don't see that side of those people. And I was thinking if I can capture that beauty into some music that I'm making, but then also keep that whole stay dangerous vibe, you know, it's like that real, like it's real out here, like racism's actively on our ass, you know what I mean, all the time. Fascism's on the rise, but then at the same time though, we can escape it just for a couple of hours, you know, dancing, drinking some Rémy, you know what I mean?
I actually really love that answer. That's perfect. So, okay, let's go back to the elements of the cocktail. We kind of have the citrus wheel in here, and for me, it just reminds me of summertime. And I know a lot of people talk about how special summertime in Chicago is. So what has your experience been?
We got this lake, we got this beach, and then we got all these street fests. and then just something happening every single day. Like it's just busting.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be lit today because you're gonna be performing a little bit later.
But we jump starting it right here,
I know,
right
we're
today.
ready for the
Literally,
party
it's the 1st of
today.
June. So
I cannot wait. I mean, that's actually a great segue because another element in this cocktail is gonna be the gold glitter, and it really, yeah, a little bit of that.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of just sets things apart, and I feel like Chicago is set apart from the rest of the Midwest. But also, your music is set apart from a lot of what people are doing today in Chicago. So can you talk a little bit about like why you wanted to pick up that heritage of dance music?
I grew up thinking that house music was like old black people music, you know what I mean?
I get
and
that.
like that dance music was just installed to me at such a young age. This trying to be the best rapper, thing is like not it for me. And then I also used to be an organizer here in the city. I was trying to always figure out how can I talk about stuff that's real, but then also like make people body moves, you know? Because I got tired of also going to shows where people weren't dancing. Like, especially in hip hop, I feel like that's a thing that like, it's not happening no more, you know what I mean? You just go to shows, I feel like people are just smoked out, you know what I mean?
Just stand there,
just standing there, or they got the damn phones out, you know what I mean? You can't record if you moving, you know what I mean? You can't record if you move, you gotta ask somebody what if they got you or not. So I would spread the crowd out, and I would make everyone in the crowd Soul Train.
Okay.
Maybe we could try to get some Soul Train going today.
Ooh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Yeah.
Let's go.
That's why I always have a trumpet player when I do my set. I'm gonna be telling, you just solo. And
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
pick
go
up the
dance
slack.
in the crowd and come back. Yeah.
That's smart. Okay, so we talked about some of the elements in the cocktail, but I mean, the most important, obviously, is the Rémy Martin base. So we got the Rémy Martin V.S.O.P as the base of our cocktail. And
What does V.S.O.P stand for again?
so V.S.O.P is gonna stand for Very Superior Old Pale. So it's really kind of like a way of knowing the age when you look at the bottle. That means everything's gonna be at least 4 years old if you see V.S.O.P.
Aging means it's just been sitting there for 4 years, like aging like in a barrel.
4 years,
Yeah.
maturing, just getting better over time. And that's
Okay.
exactly why we wanted to use it as the base in this cocktail, because it's just a little bit better. You know what I mean? And I feel like Chicago kind of has a chip on its shoulder and they feel like they do things better than other people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, Chicago does do things better than most people in this country. Yeah, I mean, we do.
Chicago just has flavor. What would you say is a flavor note of Chicago?
Bitter,
Bitter.
but sweet. Like brown sugar sweet, though.
Got you.
Brown
Okay.
sugar sweet,
A
though.
little bit more texture, a little bit more rich.
A little bit more raw. You know what I mean? A little bit more in your face. You know what I mean?
Okay. So we're enjoying this blended drink, you know what I mean? And I feel like disco music is really about blending styles. So can you talk to me a little bit about the history of disco in Chicago and like how that made its way into your music?
The Militia Day for disco actually happened here
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
It actually happened here in Chicago at
That was a
Sox
big deal.
stadiums. But it was birthed out of like racism, homophobia. That's
Sure.
really, and he was
Yeah.
like, disco music's taking off the airway space. It's like, come on, dog, relax. You know what I mean? But anyway, that happened, and out of that came this beautiful like house music. It's revolutionary dance music that comes out of Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it spreads all around the world. To the point where like now, like you got Beyonce making house records.
Talk
You know
about
what
it.
I mean?
Talk about it.
The house records produced by Honey Dijon, who's from Chicago.
There we
You
go.
know what
Hit
I mean?
full circle.
So, disco inspired some of the first rap MCs.
Wait, I didn't know that.
In Studio 54 or whatnot, the disco MCs would be the ones that they would tell people to do stuff with their hands and all that.
They took
early
that,
MCs
yeah.
saw that and like applied that to their shows.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was really inspired by like what Fast Eddie and them had did in the early 90s when I was like shifting more into doing more four on the floor stuff.
I want to talk a little bit about some speed round questions. So let's put you on the spot a little bit and talk about who is the best rapper to come out of Chicago?
Will have to be between Common and No Name.
Ooh, who would be a dream collaboration?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder over DJ Premier Beat.
You getting really creative with it. I like that. Now, are you gonna make people dance with Stevie Wonder on a premiere beat?
Oh yeah, Stevie was making people dance forever. That's easy. That's what he does. That's the easy work. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so you got Stevie Wonder, you got DJ Premier backing you. What's your dream festival that you would headline doing this song?
Afropunk.
Afro in Brooklyn, New York.
Paris.
Come
And then
on,
Brooklyn.
come on. I tried to get you.
Paris and then Brooklyn.
Okay, and then how about this? Who was your favorite dance artist growing up?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Powerline off the Goofy movie.
Wow, that's a classic right there. Really pulled that one out. What advice would you give to the people coming behind you?
To be better live than it is recorded all the time.
Really? Now, why is that?
Because one, you don't make no money on streaming, and two, an experience is priceless.
I like that a lot. Okay, so we started off by toasting to you, Ric Wilson, your success, your career. I want you to toast to your city and let people know why Chicago is the place to be.
Shout out to my city, the most humble place in the world, the most in-your-face place in the world, the most sarcastic place in the world, the hottest place in the world, but also can be the coldest place in the world. I love you forever. This is the sound of my city. This is Ric Wilson. And here I am right here also.
Cheers, Rick.
Cheers.